Hey guys, so I'm just going to start off doing this St. Patrick's Day look by covering my eyebrows with a glue stick in the way you do. Start by coating it, and then I realized I didn't have a brush. But yeah, coat your eyebrows in glue and then use a brush or a spoolie to brush the hairs up so they lay flat on your face. And then use your finger to press them down flat against your forehead. Push hard. It's sticky. It's glue. And then I used my Laura Mercier translucent powder and beauty blender to set them and really press it down in there hard to get all the glue dry. Make sure there's nothing wet. And really just press it down hard. Flatten them. And then just fan yourself so that they can be dry. But we can do better than hands, I think. So just fan themselves until they're dry. Kind of like your vagina, mama, okay? And then just take a little brush, this little e.l.f. blush brush, and just dust off the excess powder. And then going in with another layer of glue over top so that it can be nice and smooth. And then again, taking your finger, press it down so it's nice and smooth. Again, we don't want oatmeal eyebrows. And doing the same steps as before with the powder and really just pressing that hard. Then taking MAC Studio Fix powder in Shivering White. Going with a little sponge, just add some white pigment because it will be highlighted later. Beauty. And then taking the same little brush just to dust off the excess. Then I took some concealer. This is the Born This Way concealer in Fair. I went over where my eyebrows used to be. And then just blend it out with my finger. Then taking the same MAC powder from before, press it on in so it's set the concealer and make it bright. And then taking the same steps as before, just doing everything the same. Use concealer to go in under where the eyebrow will be. Then going in with Sugar Pill white eyeshadow taco. I went in with a brush and the sponge to set it. Then moving on to eyebrows, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in soft brown to draw on and outline the eyebrows, what we're going to fill in later with powder. Now moving on to powder, I take these orange and red shades, Flame Point and Love Plus, and an angled brush, and just fill it in with orange so it'll match the wig later on. Just filling it in. Then using the red on the outer part and the bottom of the front. And then going with the Sweet Peach palette. I forgot to show what shades I was using, but it's just any reddish brown shades. If you even had red hair, like eyebrow products, that would probably work better. And then wiping off the middle. Then going back in with the Brow Wiz and just drawing on little hairs to look more natural. if you could call it that. And then cleaning up underneath with the same concealer as before, and blending it out with the finger. Now going into eyes, starting off with a primer. I use the Smashbox primer, but I would rather have used Soft Ochre by MAC, but I couldn't find it. But if you have that, I would probably use that instead, because this one's thick and chunky. And just place it on the entire eyeballs. And underneath, apparently. And then using a flat brush, I took the white eyeshadow from the Sugarpill palette and put it underneath the brow bone, or on the brow bone, and then taking a shade closer to my skin tone in the crease to help with blending later on. I didn't set the lid because I was going to use a cream, and then I blend it with a fluffy brush. Now going to the Kat Von D Mi Vida Loca palette remix, Mi Vida Loca remix palette, going in with a light green shade, using that as a transition color to start to define the crease with a MAC 217 brush, and then going in with the darker green shade from the same palette, starting to deepen the crease, and then the green eyeshadow from the Sugarpill Pro palette, again just going in with deeper and deeper greens and blending it out. And then using a different denser brush, I wanted to carve out the bottom of the line with the same green eyeshadow so it was more defined. And then again, blending it out. Then I took an angled brush, the same one as the eyebrows actually, but I cleaned it off, and used the same green eyeshadow to draw a line from my outer corner up into where the crease ends to make that outer V, and blended it out. Now going in with black eyeshadow, gonna deepen up what we just did and blend it out. And I added some more green. Now going in with the Pat McGrath Metamorphosis Gold Cream. I used my finger to put it on the eyeball. That's why I didn't set the eyelid earlier with powder, so it wouldn't be powder over the cream or under the cream. And then going in with a flat brush just to get in the little corners that's hard with my fingers. Now going in with the gold pigment from the same thing, using my finger again to place it on so it's nice and gold and sparkly, and then the same flat brush to really get in those corners. Then going back in with an angled brush and some more black just to deepen the crease now that the gold's on there, and blending it out, and then adding a bit more green, so because the green was getting muddy, make sure you want the green to pop, and then adding white on the brow bone for the highlight, and then blending it out. Now going in with face stuff, using the Makeup Forever mattifying primer. There's barely any in there, but I got a little out, put it on where I have pores, and then now that I'm all red, put on some green Makeup Forever primer to get rid of that. Really color correcting. And then Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation and a beauty blender all over my face and neck. Now going with the same Too Faced Born This Way concealer in Fair, going to highlight under the eyes, cheekbones, bridge of the nose, bottom, just a lot, and blending it out with a beauty blender. Now going with the Laura Mercier translucent powder and the same dry beauty blender as before, because I don't want to use my good one. And then baking, and then waiting. And then using cream contour in the parts where I didn't set, and where you would contour, and blending it out with the damp beauty blender. And then dusting off the excess bake, or the whole bake is excess, really. And then going with the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, I'm starting off with the highlights, the lightest two shades, blending it in, and putting on everywhere where I put the concealer before, and then making it even brighter with some of the white powder from before. And then going in with the lightest contour shade in a big MAC fluffy brush, I forget what it's called, and then starting to define the contours of the face, the cheekbones, forehead, make it smaller, and then the jawline, and my chin, and under the lip to make it pouty. Then I contoured my nose with a little brush and the same powder as before, connecting it to the crease, and then going down the bridge of the nose. Then going underneath the lip again to get that really pouty look, make the bottom lip bigger. And then a denser contour brush, going in and further deepening all the contours we just did. And then with a big fluffy brush, just blend it all in so there's no harsh lines anywhere. And then taking the NYX pencil in milk in the inner parts of the eyes, the inner half, and then a dark gold on the outer parts, which you can skip this and just use black. I just couldn't find my black at this time, just to make a more angular cat eye sort of eye shape. And then using the same greens as before, going in and smoking out the bottom lash line, ending up with black closest to the lash line. And then using the liquid eyeliner to extend the inner corner to give it a bigger cat eye appearance. And then going in and drawing the liner with that same eyeliner. Not winging it out yet because I thought it was too small. And then going in and doing the bottom too. Now with a big Pat McGrath eyeliner marker, making the wing because it's bigger and easier to do with that one. But use whatever you feel comfortable making a wing with. Then going in with Urban Decay Heavy Metal glitter liner in Midnight Cowboy, putting that in the inner part of my eyelid and on where we put white before. And then drawing on freckles with the Brow Wiz from before, and when they get too harsh, blending them out with a beauty blender to make them look more natural, because obviously green eyeshadow and gold and smoky, and this is all about being natural. And then curling my eyelashes, putting on generous coats of CoverGirl So Lashy mascara. Doesn't matter what mascara, because we're going to put false eyelashes on later. Then while my mascara was drying, I put on Jeffree Star liquid lipstick and Crocodile Tears, because I forgot I hadn't highlighted yet. And then letting it dry with a fan. And then realizing I hadn't highlighted, I highlighted with Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Champagne Bop to get that glow. Then using a Sephora brow thickener thing, I don't know, it's a weird product. I don't use it on my eyebrows, but I used it to make more freckles, to make darker freckles, using the same method as before. As you can see, at one point I made a little mistake, but I wiped it out. Then I found the black eyeliner, so I put it where we put the dark gold before, which is why I don't think you should use dark gold. And then forgetting I didn't put blush on, I used Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray to set the face. Drenched. Just blend. And set. And then I forgot, and then I dried and set the eyelashes up. And then I realized I didn't put blush on. So then I put on NARS Orgasm on the apples of my cheeks. Really rosy. And then set the face again. Set the blush in. And dry, repeat. She's feeling herself. And then I put on my wig, and the look was complete. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll be trying to make more videos, so thank you so much. Please have a great day. Thank you. Bye.